it has been quite some time since I have done one of these, since I've uploaded. All in, I think it's been 2.5 months. Now, I do know that some of you have kept up to date with what's going on via some of the community posts. If you're new around here, my name's Docky, or commonly known as Liam, and I love playing roguelike games. They're great. But, as I say, I've not uploaded for about 2.5 months. And I'll put a little bit of a trigger warning here, just in case anybody's, like, not wanting to hear potentially sensitive subjects. But about 3 months ago, we discovered and learned that my mother-in-law, the mother of my wife, that's usually how that works, she had 4 forms of cancer. And everything kind of went on hold a bit. Obviously that was priority. If you have loved ones in your life that aren't doing the greatest health-wise, prioritize it, please. Because sadly, since having the time away, she has sadly passed away. We had the funeral and kept it super small, just family. And it was a lovely ceremony. Also, I will say I'm totally not used to talking on microphone again. So if I'm like humming and hawing, that's why. But yeah, she passed peacefully. It was quick, really quick. Yeah, so that's kind of been one of the big reasons I've not really been posting. But there's also the other side of things, not to kind of move on too quickly from what we've just been discussing. But I've also been working quite a bit. And that wasn't really going the greatest either. It was... Oh, this is a bad position. It was a very physically demanding job. I don't have a key. And as of... At the time of recording this, as of last Friday, I am no longer employed with them. They decided not to renew my contract, which I don't understand why. The only possible explanation could be in relation to how much time I've had off. Now, I will state that I was planning on leaving anyway, because there is an event coming up, of which I will talk about later on in this video. I basically sent in an email being like, consider this my resignation. I appreciate the opportunity and the time that you have given me for this. But I wish to kind of no longer continue the employment. I will also state that my probation was ending on the Friday, and that's kind of why I tied it in with that. Because it's the whole, like, I understand once I'm hired, it makes it a bit more tricky to, like, leave and such. So it's like, let's just make everything easier for everybody. We are going to check this devil deal. In fact, no, we're not, because I don't remember how much health I have. Let's next floor. But I got an email back that basically stated, I am paraphrasing here, but more or less, we don't need your resignation because we were going to not continue your employment anyway. Now, cool, makes things easy, but there's definitely a part of me that is a bit annoyed, mainly in the sense that they haven't given me the reason as to why they're letting me go, which they legally don't need to. Like, I understand that. I've worked many jobs in my time, oh boy. But the only reason I can think of is the fact that I did take so much time off in relation to family. Which, if that is the case, that is pretty out of order. Not really acceptable in my eyes. But there's no point complaining about it. There's no point arguing about it. Like, it is what it is. We're gone. I'm gonna be able to physically recover. I will also add as well, like, what made it so challenging for me is, like, I now live in Germany with my wife. I have done for almost a year now. And my German's not the greatest. So I was in a job where, well, my German wasn't the greatest. How am I tackling this room? Very slowly, apparently. So being able to, like, kind of call things out, to be able to process things, it wasn't the easiest for me. Like, whenever I had to write an email, and I had to ask the wife when we had to call in because of, like, the mother-in-law. It was my wife that had to make the phone call. Just to jump onto that, the mother-in-law passed away on a Sunday, and the Monday morning, the wife and I went to the doctors, got ourselves signed off from work to grieve, to process everything. And then we have to phone in before 11 a.m. So, sure. So we tried to call my workplace, couldn't get through, ended up calling the night shift line, and they were like, oh, you're meant to phone this number, not this number, this is the night shift line. We've tried, but there was no answer. Like, we were trying for like a good half an hour. And then we've ended up getting the phone call with the connection that I had, shall we say. And my wife has said to my contact, like, Liam won't be in today. Yesterday my mother passed away. So we're gonna, like, he's been signed off for the week. And the reaction was, in my eyes, disgusting. You could hear it with the tone of voice. And as I say, my German's not the greatest. I understand enough to kind of squeeze by, but it's not perfect. But you could hear the tone in her voice. It was, like, disgusting, as I say. And Eden's soul level take. To paraphrase, that's why he's calling in sick. Okay, and then she kind of went on to express, like, what I had to do, kind of thing. But at no point was she, oh, I'm sorry for your loss, like, I'm really sorry to hear that your mother passed away. Champ belt is huge. Which, like, you don't, it's not required, but it's just kind of basically the moral thing to do, the correct thing to do. It's, yeah, I don't know if that's just me looking into that more than I should. But it wasn't until the very, very end of the call where she must have realized she's not kind of passed on her condolences, and she was like, sorry for your loss, and then just hung the call up. And it's like, dude, come on. Like, if it was myself that was calling up, fair. Like, say what you want to me, it is what it is. But the fact that you're saying this to my wife, she's just lost her mother. Yes, less than 24 hours than this phone call, and you're taking this kind of approach to things. Yeah, it was quite the toxic environment. Yeah, I'm happy to be out of there. One of the other things that happened, and again, kind of tying in with the event that's coming up, that's an awful item. Basically, during my interview for the job, I was not asked if I had any, like, holidays booked, you know, like every other job does. They always ask. They never asked, but one of my first couple of days of actually starting the job, I got handed a holiday form, filled that in, and took it in as soon as possible. Now, again, German isn't the strongest, so trying to communicate things is a bit tricky. But by this point, we did know about the diagnosis. So when I've handed my holiday form in, I picked up the vibe where she was basically saying, like, you can't get you can't get these holidays. This is within your probation. Now, one of them is to do with the event that's coming up soon, and the other one was a trip down to the south of Germany that we had booked for probably the last year. So it was kind of like, oh, I should have not done that straight away. And she was like, well, it's in your probation. And I've turned around and said to her, it's like the mother-in-law has been diagnosed. Like, this is probably going to be the last holiday that we have with her. Like, I need that holiday. And she just looked at me and she was like, I'll see what I can do. But this holiday at the end of July, you'll need to wait until your probation's over. Again, it was already pre-booked. It's an event I do every single year. So it was kind of like, okay, cool. So if we take everything into consideration, I have had one day off in relation to the mother-in-law having an operation in which there was a 70% chance she wouldn't wake up. So it was the case of, like, I want to be there immediately for my wife if required. Again, the wife agreed on this. All the family agreed on this. Hopefully you guys agree on this. If not, do let me know in the comments if I'm just complaining for the sake of complaining. So there was one day for that. There was then the Monday through Friday for the week after the death. That was awful. And then there was the day for the funeral. And then I actually had one day of sickness, like actual sickness. To kind of tell that story, it was I think it was the Friday. I didn't wake up until past the call-in time. And I felt awful. I really did. I knew I shouldn't be going into work because A, how late I've woken up, and B, kind of just how awful I feel. But hey, rules are rules. I'd missed the call-in time, so I went into work. Flash forward a couple hours, and I'm 2 hours away from finishing my shift, but I'm like borderline passing out at this point. I'm struggling. Why am I checking for secret rooms? I'm struggling. I'm about to pass out. So I go up to my team leader, who was honestly amazing. He was great. Went up to him and he could see straight away, and he was like, "Alles okay?" Which is basically everything okay. And I was like, 9. I don't feel too good. So he's taking me around to the kind of the front desk, who they spoke English, so was able to just communicate with them. I told him, like, I'm about to pass out, like, I felt awful before coming in, blah, blah. He's like, everything's okay, like, get yourself home. Cool. Spend that weekend basically in bed because I'm not really surviving. I'm not doing too well. And then it comes to the Monday, again, felt awful, went round to the doctors. The doctor was like, yep, you've got quite the bad chest infection. I'm going to sign you off for a week. But by this point, I'm like, nah, you can't sign me off for a week. I can't really afford that. But it's also, I'm going on holiday next week. Again, this was the holiday that was planned to be with the mother-in-law. I've actually just forgot a bit of the story of that. But yeah, there was that planned holiday with the mother-in-law. So the doctor was like, okay, we'll sign you off for the day, but I would highly advise you take the week, but whatever. To jump back to about that holiday, when we actually called up on the Monday to basically tell my my contacts within the workplace, one question she did ask was, "Oh, so does that mean you still need the holiday in June?" That was what she turned around and asked my wife. Which kind of insensitive if you ask me. But aye, so got signed off for that day. Even though a doctor advised me to take the whole week. What are we on? Necropolis 1. Ended up going back into work, done my shifts over the next couple of days. And then went on the holiday, which was 2 weeks. So all in, I have had 2 weeks holiday, which again, pre-booked, well in advance. There was then, in total, is it 7 days related to the passing of my wife's mother? 1 equals power and Guppy's pot, nice. Yeah, so what's that like? I can't even math. I'm actually trying to math here. 2 weeks is 10 days worth of work. So yeah, 17 days, which totally understand if you're just looking at from a numbers point of view. 17 days off in a 3-month probation is a lot. And if you look at the numbers, without looking at the circumstance, 100% I would not keep that person on either. But you would think, given the circumstance and knowing the circumstance, that you would potentially be a bit more sympathetic to the situation. Now, I know I've not mentioned my work ethic or my anything like that. On my last day, shall we say, Terra or Pluto, we're taking Terra. I wanted to make sure I got some references because I got on great with a couple of the team leaders in there, especially during the passing of the mother-in-law. I was basically keeping them up to date every day, and like when she was in the hospital, it was a case of like, at the start of my shift, it was this is how she's doing. If I need to go, I will come up and inform you, but then I will instantly be leaving the shift kind of thing, which again, they totally understood. And they were like, yep, family always comes first. All I'll ask is you let me know. Again, totally understandable. We'll take BFFs. Does that make him bigger? It does. So I got references from them, and both of them were like, wait, why isn't your contract being continued? And I turned around and said, I don't know. Keine Ahnung. In German. They both seemed visibly confused, and one of them actually seemed quite angry. Now, hopefully that shows that my work ethic and my work ability was there. I came home every night covered in sweat. Again, physically demanding job. I'm not going to say which workplace I was working for. It's not overly professional. I know I've left them and I owe them nothing, but again, just try to remain professional. I completely forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, long story short, I've had not the greatest couple months. It's been a turbulent time. Kind of find it funny how that rhymes. Turbulent time. That was a great dodge. I'm happy with that. But we are back. Whether I'm uploading every day like I used to, I cannot promise. But I will be doing my best. My plan is to get back in the swing of things. Might take a bit of time to get there. You are so cute. But we will get there. Now, I know I've mentioned a couple times throughout this video of an event that's going on. And you might be like, what event? Some of you already know. But every year for the last, what? This is year 9. I have ran a charity event for St. Columba's Hospice. This video is just dark. I ran a charity fundraiser for them every year for the last, well, this will be year 9. And we have managed to somehow raise just over £25,000, which is mad, and I'm super grateful for the community for helping raise that much amount of money. Does that English sense make? What? So yeah, like it's going to be a great event. That is going to be between 24th and 26th of July at the end of the month. And again, that was the holiday that I had booked at the end of July. And that was one of the main reasons I handed my notice in, because they still hadn't told me if I was getting my holiday or not. And given the fact that this event had been in planning for the last 6 months, yeah, it was pretty important. So aye, it's been a whirlwind. I know I've kind of just been rabbiting on for the last 20 minutes, it seems. 19 to be fair, the recording's 20. I had to restart, you know, get a decent run. You guys know how it works. But yeah, that is the plan. If you do want to see that, make sure to head on over to the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Doki93. We're going to be live for 12 hours each day. This is the last floor. Birthright. Ooh. Okay. Small Rock. Do you know what? We'll take Small Rock. Yeah, it's going to be a blast. We've been theming the events each year for the last couple years, and this year's theme is world culture. So there's going to be a whole bunch of different kind of quizzes, a whole bunch of different tryings of foods, experiment and seeing what different cultures are like. We've got an interview with some people from Nepal, which is going to be great. I used to work with them. Sadicha, absolute legend she is. Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of hilarity. But most importantly, raising funds for an amazing cause, a place extremely close to my heart. Again, just to kind of touch on that, it was, I don't know if I mentioned, but my dad and my uncle, 2018 and 2021 respectively, both had to use the hospice's services, and the hospice was amazing. Made my life, my family's life, our friends' lives a little bit easier. So yeah, I think I've caught you up on life. I suppose one of the other ones is I might be moving house soon. That is sadly in relation to the passing of the mother-in-law. We're basically moving into that house. With that, there may be some downtime again with videos. Apologies on that. But what that also means is more space for chaos content creation. If you know the Twitch channel, you know what I'm on about. That was awful. This is not going very well. I am so slow. I need speed. Are we done? Oh, we're done. So yeah, also with that, there will be an office tour that we're going to do. My wife and I have been planning this for a bit. Because the original plan was to move into that house anyway at some point next year. But yeah, things changed, you know. So we got that in the works. Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm also starting language school hopefully soon. We have the meeting for that on... To be fair, by the time you guys see this video, I will have already had the meeting. But yeah, it's... Life is gonna be busy, but it's gonna be good. We're gonna get back to uploading, creating some chaos, having some fun, all the shenanigans in the world. Now, since leaving for this little break that we've been on, there was the summer sale. And there's potentially a bunch of new viewers watching this for the very first time. You may have picked Isaac up, like over 100,000+ of you did. Because Isaac hit an all-time record of most concurrent players. I think it was like 130,000+, which is insane to think about. But with that, I have... Oh wow, that's awful. I have thought, like... I've got some friends who did pick Isaac up in the sale. And they're just like, what is going on? Why don't I survive? Why am I constantly, like, losing? So I'm thinking, do we potentially try and create some how-to play videos that are... This is not how you play. Yeah, I don't know. Like, let me know what you guys think. I do plan on getting back to Mugenics sometime soon. I missed that game. That game was an absolute blast. I know we're on the Black Shard quests. By this point, people have probably finished the game like 4 times. We are struggling because of speed here. But we're not going hush. Not to the pictures. But yeah, just kind of like tips and tricks. How to play this character, how to play that character. I don't know. We will use that, then we'll take this. Let me know in the comments below. I would say I could start a new file. But the fact of the matter is, I've not even finished this file, and I'm like 900+ hours into this game. So... that was awful. A lot of the time, that's just because I like playing as Eden. Or the Lost. Now, if you were to say to me, like, 6 years ago, like, oh, you'll enjoy playing the Lost, I would have called you crazy. Because the Lost is wild. As is this champion. Why did I run into that? I don't... What? I am playing very badly. It's almost as if I'm out of practice. But yeah, like, it's... Everything's up in the air. Who knows where we go with this? Oh, what? As I say, the charity event coming up is priority for me just now. I will be flying on the 21st of July. I don't know where that is in relation to you guys seeing this video. But aye, that's the plan. Oh, I forgot I had the Babylon effect. Aye. How's this run been? It's been sloppy. That's a word I'll use. The run has been sloppy. Definitely could be playing better. I think that goes without saying. I'm taking way too much damage. Now we do have Polaroid invincibility, which could be useful. But aye, it's not like a crazy build by any stretch of the imagination. Honestly, we might even lose this run with how sloppy I've been playing. If I get get a teleport card, that might be nice. But yeah, that plane sounds so close. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Hopefully not. Yeah, I'm actually going to go back for that soul heart. So we had Cricket's body to start. Awesome. Murkymycosis as the second item. Amazing. And then the rest has been so. Having money equals power is nice. Giving us that little extra damage with each coin we pick up. Realistically, we should be like crushing everything, taking full advantage of having Terra. I'm just a lazy player and likes to go fast. Would taking the challenge room be worth it? I don't know. What we're gonna do, we're gonna pick this up. We're then gonna just go straight in and hit Isaac. With the High Priestess card, and also this. That done basically no damage. We're probably gonna rely on Murkymycosis here, applying the spores. Take out these wee angels. Whoop! We took some damage. We are past the hard phases though, so we should be okay. You want to kind of try and stick to the top here. Easiest way to avoid it, in my opinion. I was just expecting to get a hit there after I said that. Oh, right. Come on, Isaac. Down you go, buddy. There you go. He got poisoned. Let's head on up. Curse of Darkness. Lovely. Tiny Planet. Nope. Backstabber, sure. Heart. We will take the heart. We will take Backstabber. We will take Runebag. Nice. Come on. There we go. Thank you. What we got? Sharp straw. Nah, we good. Right, there you are. That's good to know. We're not gonna patch. You know what? It's fine. We'll use it. Half a soul heart is nice. Awesome. I'm happy with that. With these guys, you kind of want to try and face them straight on. Some damage here. Ideal. What we got? That was awful, Liam. You should not have taken that much damage. Oh, dude, come on. Do you guys think I'm out of practice? By any chance? I do. I think I'm well out of practice. I've definitely been playing a little bit here and there of Isaac. But nowhere near like I was. I mean, I was doing at least 2-3 runs a day on Isaac when we were recording in the past. What's first roll? Reroll, that is nice. Honestly, the one thing I need is speed. If I can get some speeds, I'll feel okay. Lil Dumpy, I will take that as a good defensive item. Exhibit A. What we got in here? Addicted. Speed. Oh wow. The one thing I did not need. Oh boy. Oh boy. Boy oh boy. Oh no, I do not like this boss. That is nice. Thank you, game. I usually struggle with that boss. Badly. Gooey. What we got in here? Sulfuric acid is nice. I mean, it's not nice in everyday life, but in the game, it's great. Awesome. We'll take that soul heart. Thank you, relic. Yep. Kill. In fact, is this super secret room at the end? No. I'm kind of stressing a bit. I don't want to lose my first run back. That'd be embarrassing. What we got here? Do you know what? That could be useful. Could be very useful. Bomb bag. We're getting all the bags. It's like the game's like, you've not played for a while, let's go shopping. Basically. What is this? Speed up, let's go. I feel like Sonic all of a sudden. That's a lie. I still feel super slow. Nice. Awesome, I'm happy with that. Bomb bag already paying it. Let's go. I just realized there was a soul heart in there. We have found the boss. Half a soul heart as well. Happy days. Super secret room. Wood batteries. Let's do this. Let's do this. Hopefully Murky-Mycosis can carry. Because we kinda need it. Dumpy being legendary. Chucking a wee bomb there. That'll do. Murky-Mycosis is doing absolute bits. That's the kind of blue spores that we put on him. Amazing. Now, I'll be honest, I could keep going, but I think we are going to call it here. Say, ease me back into things. Ease you guys back into things. And if you have made it this far, first off, thank you for spending the last 35, 40 minutes, however long it's been, watching this video. I do appreciate it. Again, apologies on the lack of uploads for the last like 2.5 months, but hopefully you understand. And honestly, as mad as it is, if you are angry at the fact I've not uploaded because of family issues, then hit that unsubscribe button. But I don't think anybody's going to be like that. So thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate yous, and I will see you in the coming days.